first things first, you plug the tower into the wall. Okay. You lock the cart where you want it. Okay. Then, before you plug the scope in, you're going to take the sheath, set it up away from the cart. You're going to be gloved, obviously. This is the top, this is the bottom. Hold on, open it up. Don't stick your hand inside the bag. You're going to take this adhesive off the back of it, and you are going to tape it to the back of this, of the sheath loader. You tape it to the back of this, and then any excess side you're going to fold over on stuff so that it won't get in the way. Toss this. Open the bag up. Okay. And then you're going to take your sheath. The scope is flat on one side and rounded out on the other. So you have to match up the flat side of the scope to the flat side of the sheath. And usually when you load the sheath in, you load the sheath into the scope, you're going to load the sheath facing out. So basically I'm going to come over here. You're going to put the sheath in this middle hole over here. Again, with the flat side facing the person who's setting it up. I'm going to come up a little bit on this, push this in, down. As you can see, it's still flat and rounded out in the other, as you can see. This is how it should always look when you put the sheath into the sheath holder. Okay. Now you're going to take the scope. It always should be completely sealed airtight. You're going to slide this portion down so that oil comes off. Because what will happen is you don't want to do this. You don't want to force it by pulling this up like that. It just slides down and it comes right off. You're going to take these arrows and you're going to match it up with this little white dot on the digital processor, which is what this is. Push that all the way in, that's all. Flip this up and turn it on. Give it about 10-15 seconds for the light to come on. Okay. Everything's ready to go. You're going to take the scope and you're going to hold it over something white. It could be your lap, anything white, and then you're going to hold this button down here, the white balance button right there. You're going to hold it down until you hear a beep. You let go of it. This is WB OK. If it says failed, you just do it again. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put the scope too close to the white and get this. You just want to basically hold it a couple centimeters away and try to keep your hand steady. Now we're going to take, actually, here's a, let me just lower the light. I want everybody to see this as well. So as you see on the scope, it's flat and it's kind of rounded out and it's a half circle. Okay, so the question I always get is how do I know which is the flat side to match up with the flat side of the sheath? It's this color ring is the flat side, and it goes all the way down like that, completely flat all the way down. And if you see in the back here, this is the locking knob that goes into this groove, which we'll go over in a second, into the sheath. That's how you know that you're doing it properly. So you don't want to twist it around. Just basically line it up with the sheath. Okay. So I'm going to take it. Even if you are short, you could bend it a little bit to come down. But basically, what I'm doing is I'm going to take this scope and put it like that without having to turn my hand. I'm just going straight down like that. Okay, and if you see here on the screen, we're getting closer to the bottom of to the distal end of the sheath. I'm gonna go very slowly, and it goes completely in like that. This is how you. This is the image you should always see when you're setting it up. Now you take the locking knob, which is vertical. When you put it into the groove back here, I'll pull it up so you can see. It goes like that. You do a half turn like that, and then what I do is, before I do anything else, is I hold on to the scope. So now I'm going to take the suction line, and I'm going to put this in right over here, and then I open up this latch and slide it down. This needs to be completely in order for you to get suction. A lot of times, but you don't want this, and make sure you see this. You don't want that. Even if you think that you hit it right, you want it completely placed inside, in between the latch like that. This will go to your suction on the wall or go to your trap. Okay, and then right when you're almost done, you're going to go from inside the bag, come up over the control body cover like that, and then you are going to seal. This is where you would inject your lidocaine or put a lure lock on here. You're going to take this cap and you're going to seal the hole. And the last piece of what you're going to do is you're going to take your clips that you took off in the beginning, and you're going to close the bag off. That. And then you could set this up like this if you knew you were doing a bronch in a little while, and leave it like this and leave. And then when you're ready to go do the case, you're going to take your silicone, you're going to pop it off, you're going to put it on a 4x, you're going to spray it up. You're going to take this out like this, you're going to take this off, this gets thrown away. And then you're going to take the 4x and then you're going to smear this up completely. And what you see here is exactly how the scope should look when you're about to do the case, where it's completely seated directly into the window. There's no movement. That's why I always say to pull on it before you do all to test to make sure it doesn't slide. Let me raise the light. This is a good image. And you're ready to use the case. Okay? Then what you do, you put the scope back in to the bag when you're finished, and you do everything in reverse, but you do everything the same way. You set it up with the flat side again, the coloring facing out, and then take the clips off. You want to make sure that you're clean. You need a clean pair of gloves. You don't want to touch a dirty scope and touch the handle inside any part of the scope with that being dirty. Dump those in here. Turn the bag inside out again. Pull this down. Put on a new pair if you are dirty. Don't touch this. Don't contaminate the scope. Unhook this from your trap. Pinch the line in. It'll come right out again. Drop that into the bag. Drop that into the bag. Turn the locking knob to a vertical position again, and then it should come completely out. If for some reason you get tension where it doesn't come out right away, then from outside the bag, just basically gently straighten out the channel, and it should come straight out like that. This gets thrown away in here. Hang this up like this. This gets thrown away. Shut it off. Unplug the scope. Put the cap completely sealed. Then you are going to take your endo wipe. You're going to tear it here where it says to tear here. Bring it over to the sink. Take it out. And then over the sink, you're going to wipe the handle down and wipe the most important part of the insertion tube. Don't pull on this or do a death grip on it. Just gently up and down, just lather it up. Then cradle it and then rinse it off with water. Throw this away. This will be wet, and you're going to take your endo wipe and you're going to take out one of these baby wipes, and then you're going to dry down the handle and the insertion tube again without pulling very hard on it. Once this is dry, you'll still have some moisture on it. You're not going to go right to another case. Hang it back up like that. Hang it back up, and then you're done. And then you either put it back in there or let it hang out. And then do the same thing over again if you really do a case later on that day or that night or the next day or whatnot. And that's it.